Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Grace Regato Field. Feels like we just left here. St. Mary's last night played Austin Prep here. Now they're playing arch rival Fenwick. I used to be able to say Thanksgiving in whatever month it was, but I can't do that anymore because after that really fiasco a couple of years ago on Thanksgiving Eve, where Fenwick blew out the doors of St. Mary's, and there were hard feelings all around over the playing of the game and how it was played and who played. And Fenwick said they'd never play St. Mary's on Thanksgiving again. And St. Mary's said, good, because we don't want to play you either. And there was a lot of hard feelings. So since then, every time St. Mary's plays these teams, they're looking to make it a war and win it by big numbers. And they certainly did it the first time. First game of the season, neither team had much work. Fenwick was coming off a few other sports, didn't have a chance to get ready for the season, and they played St. Mary's right off the bat, and St. Mary's mercy ruled them and beat them by a very big score. Anna Franguli is on the mound. It's the first time we'll see Anna. We usually see Lily Newhall. And I apologize up front with only the last names of Bishop Fenwick. Savino, the right fielder, is the hitter. It's senior night. They honored the seniors before the game, and they did it before we got here. They did it early. In for a strike. This is Savino, the right fielder for Fenwick. I do know Alicia Grossi and Sam Porozinski are seniors because I know them from hockey as well as softball. But I don't know all the seniors. Hit solid to short. Porozinski had it, bobbled it. It almost rolled up her sleeve. She stayed with it, and she throws Savino out. Hard hit, but right at the shortstop. One up, one down for Burke to shortstop. Up and in for a ball. Down and away for a ball, 2-0. It was a brutally hot day. Most of the schools in the area were only had half days. I know English and classical had baseball, softball games that were canceled today because of the heat. And now it's not that bad. There's a little bit of a breeze, nowhere near as bad as it was during the day. In for a strike with Burke taking all the way. And that's ball 4. So Burke is the first base runner drawing the base on balls. Mercurio, the center fielder, will be the hitter. You know, I talked about since that football game, St. Mary's has looked to beat Fenwick as badly as they can. The shoe on the other foot, Fenwick does the same. In for a strike. So it's become a battle in all the sports. Missing inside for a ball. Hit in the air to left center field. Long run Marina DiBiase with a great play. She covered a lot of ground getting over to left center field, catching it, running away for the second out. Covered a lot of ground. Costello, the third baseman, is the hitter. Mercurio hit that a long way and came up empty. Pop foul behind third base, out of play. There's a few fans here, considering it's a very warm day and people came out to watch. Nice stop by D'Alessandro, the catcher. Up and away for a ball. There's a nice breeze. It's blowing pretty good, but makes it bearable here at the ballpark. Hit off the first baseman. Roma Brad will tag the runner coming to first base. So the walk doesn't hurt. Stranded at first. Fenwick is out. We'll move into the bottom half of the first. Cabral is on the mound for Fenwick, and she'll face Marina DiBiase, the center fielder, who made that nice catch. Every time you make a nice play in the field, you lead off the inning. Center field will bat first. Catching and batting second, Felicia D'Alessandro. The second baseman, Alyssa Grossi, will hit third. Playing shortstop and batting fourth, Sam Porozinski. The right fielder, Julia Nicola, will hit number 5. Batting seventh and batting sixth rather, and playing left field, Ashanti Perdillo. The pitcher, Anna Franguli, will hit number 7. Batting eighth and playing first base, Roma Brad. And the third baseman, Amy Catino, will bat number 9. And I have to apologize to Amy Catino. I've been calling her Catano all year. I finally got it right because I was finally able to read Coach Pagluka's writing. When it gives me the last page, there's 4 copies. By the time you get through to the last page, it's almost blank. You can't read it. So it's Amy Catino. And DiBiase jumps on the first pitch and gets the first hit of the game. She's at first base with nobody out for Felicia D'Alessandro, the catcher. Takes the pitch. There's nobody covering second base. The second baseman went to cover first when D'Alessandro faked the bunt. So DiBiase was at second base with nobody out. Swing and a miss. St. Mary's 14-2. Only one loss in the conference. They lost to Gloucester. They've won a few in a row. They lost to Bishop Feehan here a couple of weeks ago. They haven't lost since. They're looking for win number 15. When you put that in perspective, 15-2, the Link Classical boys baseball team has played 6 games. They throw the ball back to the pitcher. They didn't look at DiBiasio at all. She steals third. She was halfway there when they were throwing the ball back to the pitcher. They didn't push her back. They just threw it back to the pitcher, and she took off. And she's at third with nobody out. Line shot foul. Alessandro got all of that one, but got out in front and pulled it foul. Hit to the third baseman. They airmail it to first. And on the throw, DiBiasio scores. So third baseman, a nice play with the stop, and then just airmailed it over to first. So D'Alessandro will reach on the error. And DiBiasio will score the first run. Alessandro gets an RBI. The run would have scored anyway on the throw to first. Alyssa Grossi, the second baseman. They throw it, and they throw it into center field. So another error. Stolen base. Errant throw. And D'Alessandro is where DiBiasio was with no outs. She's at third. Grossi, one of the better hitters for Classical this year. She's got a few home runs. Solid shot off the third base coach. Frank Pagluca just saw his life pass in front of him. Didn't have time. I think he's got a scorebook. I think he tried to knock it down with that. That's a little frightening. Hit in the air to the shortstop. One away. For Sam Porozinski, the shortstop. Tries to bunt, pops it up, and it's going to bounce back foul. Sam Porozinski, a very good hockey player and a very good student. She just got, I wish I could think of it. I congratulate her. She just got a very big award. She's a great kid. All these people, you heard me say many times, I wish everybody could get to know these kids the way I do. Faked the bunt, took the pitch high, drew the third baseman in. Faked the bunt, hits it into right field. She squared the bunt. The second baseman broke to cover first. And Porozinski hit it right where the second baseman normally would be. She gets a base hit and an RBI. Just a little punch out into right field. Enough to bring D'Alessandro home. And second baseman just left the premises, going to cover first, thinking it was going to be a bunt. And St. Mary's has grabbed a 2-0 lead. They get the bunt down, and the first baseman can't handle the throw. Third error in the inning. That was Julia Nicolo with the bunt. She winds up at second. Porozinski winds up at third. Still only one out for Ashanti Perdillo, the left fielder. She tries to bunt, misses it. Second baseman didn't wait for the ball to be bunted. She ran to first as soon as Porozinski squared away. And she was almost to the first base bag when Porozinski hit it right where she was standing when the pitch was made. They get the bunt down, and he can't nail it. The throw is in the dirt. Yet another error. Three nothing in second and third for St. Mary's with one out. Anna Franguli, the pitcher, can help herself. Conference is going on. Coach Zulo talking to the defense. Pagluka for St. Mary's talking to the offense. Another bunt. She beat it for a hit. Frangula gets a bunt hit. Gets an RBI. Back to second and third. Roma Brad, the eighth hitter in the inning. Bunts it foul. They found a home. Everybody just bunting away. Looks at the pitch high for a ball. Off the catcher. Not much room behind home plate. I mention all the time, not much room anywhere in foul territory here, especially between first and third. To the dugouts, it's probably 6 or 8 feet. Might be 10 feet out in left and right field. Over the head of Brad, she draws a walk. Catino is the ninth hitter in the inning. High and tight for a ball. So the bases are juiced. 4 runs in. High for a ball. High again. This is a Fenwick team when Bud Henry was the coach. They won, I think, 7 or 8 straight state championships. They had great players. Nobody could beat them. Catino draws a walk, gets an RBI. Bases are still loaded. Marina DiBiasio got a base hit and scored the first run. And now the ball off the catcher. Safe at the plate. High for a ball. In for a strike. DiBiasio punches the ball, and they throw it away. And DiBiasio winds up at third, 2-run score. DiBiasio goes all the way to third. DiBiasio was the 10th hitter in the inning. 8 of the 9 starters have scored. And Alessandro gets hit. Five errors by Fenwick. Melissa Grassi is the only one that hasn't reached and scored. She popped up to the shortstop. Fakes the bunt. The runner takes off. They throw it to third. And if the runner went back standing up, she might be able to score it because it went off the third baseman's glove. So second and third again. Hit foul behind third base. Still only one out. Pop foul out of play. Solid shot, got way out in front and pulled it well foul. And long chase for left fielder O'Brien. That's another long foul. That's a solid shot into left field. 2 runs are going to score. And Grassi's in with a double. DiBiasio and D'Alessandro both scored their second run of the inning. And we've got another trip out to the mound.
Good evening, my friend.
So it looks like the center fielder is going to be the new pitcher. Karen will be the new center fielder, and she'll be, I believe, will be hit for. So Mercurio will be the new pitcher. St. Mary's has put double digits on the board. 8 of the 9 starters have scored. 2 of them have scored twice. Still only 1 out. They've only got 4 hits. They haven't been tearing the cover off the ball. They've been bunting galore. Porozinski just hit a little soft, almost like a little pop by where the second baseman normally would be into right field for a base hit. DiBiasio got a solid shot starting the game. Rossi just got a solid shot for a double. That's been it. Everything has been bunts. Errors, 5 errors by Fenwick. So Mercurio will be the new pitcher. And so look and see if you can get Fenwick out of the inning. There's only been 2 walks. One of them, the bases loaded, bring a run in. A wild pitch scored a run. Six have scored on the errors. So Mercurio will see what she can do. She'll face Porozinski, who got a base hit, knocking in a run and scored a run. She's up for the second time, 13th hitter in the inning. Still only 1 out. The 1 out, Grossi with the pop-up has just made up for that by getting a double and knocking in 2 runs. Way up in the air for ball 1. Catcher Timpson had to stretch as far as she could to stop that from going to the backstop. Down and in to the backstop. Grossi will go to third. That's the problem. When you win 8 straight championships, you got pitchers on the mound who throw shutouts and 1-hitters. But then when you don't get those pitches to attend Bishop Fenwick or attend English or Classical or St. Mary's, that's the name of the game, pitching. If you can't get somebody to throw strikes, you got no chance at all. And that's the ball 4. Porozinski's on for the second time. Julia Nicolo punted, and he threw it away at first base. She got an RBI because the run would have scored anyway. She wound up at second. She scored a run. Squares the bunt, takes the pitch. They throw it down. They call her out at second base. The run scores. Grossi scores on the throw to second. Solid shot past third base foul. They're aiming at Frank Pagluca over at third base. 14 hitters for St. Mary's. And they're not done yet. Fenwick needs another out. Pop to second base. First baseman steps right in front of the second baseman. So they finally get out of the inning. 11 runs scored in the first inning by St. Mary's. A huge inning, and it's 11-0 St. Mary's at the end of one. 5, 6, and 7 for Fenwick as we start the second inning. Ryder is the designated player. She's now hitting for the center fielder, Karen, when they change pitchers. Franguli will start her second inning of work, and she's got a comfortable double-digit lead. Down and away for a ball. Three walks, a hit batsman, 4 base hits, 5 errors, and a partridge in a pear tree. Turned into 11 runs for St. Mary's. The big hit, the 2-run double by Grossi. High for a ball. Low for a ball. And that's ball 4. Second walk given up by Franguli. O'Brien, the left fielder, will be the hitter. He called a strike saying she offered trying to bunt. She faked the bunt, but they said she offered. So Franguli got a little bit of help on that pitch. That pitch was way up and in over her head. She tried to bunt it anyway, trying to swing down at it. And that's strike 3. First strikeout for Franguli. Timpson, the catcher, will be the hitter. And that breeze feels pretty good. In for a strike. Waves at that pitch that was down in the dirt. The runner got off the bag halfway. I think she's trying to draw the throw to first so she can steal second. They pumped first. He took a step back, and then she had to hustle back to first. I don't think you want to get thrown out on the base pass with a double-digit deficit. Throw it down again. Karen dives back. Way up in the air. And that's in for a call, third strike. They both last two hitters have watched pitches go by. 2 outs. Two big call, third strikes after the inning leading walk. Cochran, the first baseman, will be the hitter. High and tight for a ball. They throw it down and they throw it into right field. So Karen got what she wanted. She tempted it 3 or 4 times. They finally threw the throw down, and the throw went into right field. In for a strike. Down away for a ball. Down and in for a ball. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Inning number 2. Swing and a miss. She strikes out the side after giving up a walk. So Fenwick had a walk with 1 out, left at first. They got a walk leading off the second with an errant throw, left at second. Three strikeouts. And for St. Mary's, it'll be 6, 7, and 8. All 9 starters for St. Mary's scored a run in that first inning. DiBiasio and D'Alessandro, the 1 and 2 hitters, got 2. And I thought they said strike 3. They were leaving the park. And now it's ball 4 to Cochran, the first baseman. Everybody was leaving. They walked into the dugouts. The batter went to the dugout. And they bring everybody back. So it's not striking out the side. There's 2 outs and 2 on. They try to go back door to get Karen, who's been bouncing all over the base paths. Throw is in the dirt. The wild pitch is going to move everybody up. So that takes off the force at any base. You got to go to first on a ground ball. Second and third with 2 outs. I'm not sure what the umpire is doing now, the home plate umpire. Calling his partner over. Conversations going on in every place. Katina went in to talk to the catcher, saying, let's try and pick her off at third if she gets too far off. This is Medeiros, the second baseman, hitting. So they caught me flat-footed. Nice stop by D'Alessandro. She swung, missed at the pitch, walking to the dugout. The team's walking off the field. There's no scoreboard letting us know what the count is. Up and away for a ball. In for a strike. Hit off the backstop. And we got Deuces Wild again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on in inning number 2. So we got an extra deuce up there with the 2 base runners. She took a swing at that pitch that was down the dirt, and they throw her out at first base. She couldn't hit that with a golf club. So that legitimately Fenwick was out now in the second inning. And legitimately she strikes out the side. She got some help there. 2 walks in the inning. Fenwick came close with second and third. But they come up empty. And now it will be 6, 7, and 8 for St. Mary's as we start the bottom of the second inning. We mentioned again, it was a brutally hot day. Watching the news on TV, you saw all the schools closing down, going only a half day. With English Link Classical called off baseball, softball for today. I don't know. I don't think they can make up those games because there's not much room. They start the GBL tournament, I believe it's Saturday, and there's only the rest of this week, and there were already scheduled games to play this week. And when you got games scheduled, you can't even play double headers because somebody is like here. You can't play a classical doubleheader yet because somebody else might be playing before or after you. Baseball, Fraser, is used all the time by the high schools. Although Tech has been finished for a while. I think Kip has been too. But you still have English and Classical playing there, and St. Mary's. And St. Mary's is playing there all the time. They played Saturday, they played Sunday. This being Monday, they'll play tomorrow, Tuesday there. So it's hard to squeeze those games in before the league tournament starts. Unless you want to play next week after the league tournament. Ashanti Perdillo reached on an error. She was 1 of 5 and scored a run, as did everybody. Except DiBiasio and D'Alessandro, they scored 2. So Mercurio will start an inning for the first time. In for a strike. If nothing else, I love Bishop Fenwick's uniforms because they got huge numbers on their back and they even have numbers on the front. So we can actually see them. Hit foul. Perdillo, Anna Franguli, Roma Brad, the three hitters to face Mercurio. In for strike three. That one rolled in. Anna Franguli got a base hit, scored a run, knocked in a run. Tries to push the bunt, pushes it foul. Hit past third, foul. High for a ball. Chop to third. Out at first. Costello with the nice throw. Corcoran with the nice stretch. 2 up, 2 down in the second inning. Roma Brad. She caught last night. She's the first baseman tonight. She's faked the bunt, swung away, and hit foul off to the right side. Hit into left field for a base hit. Bobbled by the left fielder, and that error is going to allow Brad to get in scoring position. She held it first when the ball was bobbled. She took off for second. Amy Catino drew a walk on an RBI because it came with the bases loaded, and then she scored a run. Hits it in the air. Second baseman makes the play. The hit and the error don't hurt. We finished 2 here at the Grace Regato Field. St. Mary's leading Bishop Fenwick 11-0. Top of the third for Fenwick. Back to the top of the order. Savino grounded out short to first. She hit it hard. She hit it right at the shortstop. Kind of rolled a little bit up Porozinski's arm, but she stayed with it, made a strong throw over to Brad for the out. In for a strike. Hit right to the second baseman. Right down around the ankles. Grossi went down and picked it. One up, one down in the third. Burke, the shortstop, threw 1 of 3 walks that Franguli has given up. She walked and got stranded at first. In for a strike. High for a ball. In for a strike, 1-2. St. Mary's will be in Division 3, and the 2 losses, one to Gloucester non-league, one to Bishop Fee in league, Both of those teams are in higher divisions, so St. Mary's won't play either one of them in the tournament. They would have to get by Bishop Fee in the Catholic Central Cup tournament. Just drop low for a ball. Hit foul out of play. Hit foul again out of play. Line to the shortstop. Porozinski picks it off for a shoe. So two line drives, the second baseman and the shortstop both going down and picking it right about ankle high. That looked like it was going into center field for a base hit. 2 up, 2 down. Mercurio hit a shot to left center field that DiBiasio made a very nice running catch on. Way back in the first inning. Down and in for a ball. Low again. Missing again low, 3-0. In for a strike with Mercurio taking all the way. Hit off the pitcher, and it'll be a base hit. Back to the mound, Frank Gooley had one chance. It was hit that hard. She had it. It just deflected off her glove. Neither Catino nor Porozinski could get to it quick enough to make a play. So Mercurio becomes a base runner, the first base hit, given up by Frank Gooley. 2-away for Costello, who tried to bunt and bunted it right to the first baseman, Brad, who tagged her out. And Mercurio steals second. I know you're probably saying, why are you stealing bases down 11-0? Because you think you can, I guess. Pop right to Porozinski. So the infielders, Grossi 1, Porozinski 2, make the putouts. The hit and the stolen base go by the boards. First inning, she didn't walk a batter. And we'll move into the bottom half of the third. It would be the top of the order. Haitian Mercurio, who started an inning for the second time. St. Mary's erupted in the first inning, sending 14 to the plate. All 9 starters scored. DiBiasio and D'Alessandro scored twice. They got 11 runs. Mercurio kind of shut the door in the second inning. She gave up a hit, but she got 3 outs. The hit came with 2 outs. So now she'll face the top of the order. DiBiasio singled and scored, reached on an error and scored. Six errors in that first inning by Fenwick, along with a hit batsman and 3 walks. 2 of the walks scored. One of the walks that scored forced in a run with the bases loaded. In for a strike. Solid shot, but got way out in front and pulled it foul. Third baseman Costello was probably saying, I'm glad she hit that foul. If that was hit at her, that was going to be trouble. And now that breeze is coming. Boy, it feels good. Solid shot to left field, but got out in front too far. Hit it out of the park, but foul. Yeah, that's ball 4. So DiBiasio hits the trifecta. She's on base 3 times, a single, an error, and a walk, 3 different ways. Alicia D'Alessandro reached on an error and scored. Got hit by a pitch and scored. She's 0 for 1 with 2 runs scored. She gets the bunt down. They get her out at first on a nice play. DiBiasio, with the third baseman making the play, nobody covering third. She went all the way to third. She takes the pitch high for a ball. She popped up in the first inning and then doubled in the first inning, knocking in 2 and scoring the run. She was the last of the 9 starters to score. You know, in the fish, she just fouls it off the top of the Fenwick dugout. Down and in for a ball. Way up and away, Grossi walks. She doesn't keep going. She stays at first base. Porzinski singled in a run and scored and walked all in the first inning. Squares the bunt, takes the pitch high for a ball. In the dirt. Nice stop by Timpson. Gets the bunt down. They out at the plate. Now the runner goes to second and the runner scores. But I think they're going to put him back. I'm not sure what they just called. I'm not sure what the last out was. I don't know if they called Grossi out at the plate. Or if they called Porzinski out at second base and said the run didn't score. So St. Mary's doesn't get a run in the inning. We've ended 3, and it's still 11-0. St. Mary's over Fenwick. The only thing I can think of is when Porzinski tried to go to second after they got DiBiasio at the plate for the second out, and then Porzinski took off to second. When they threw to second to get Porzinski, what confused me was they threw the ball home to try to get Grossi scoring. And I guess the base umpire stepped in and said the runner at second was out. So the run doesn't score. Because if the run scored before they tagged Porzinski, the run would have counted. This is a designated player, Ryder. She started out hitting for the pitcher, Cabral. When they changed pitches, she's now hitting for the center fielder, Karen. She drew a walk leading off the second inning. And she draws a walk leading off the fourth inning. They bunt, it goes foul. O'Brien, the left fielder, struck out. That was the inning that Franguli got all of her strikeouts. She struck out the side, and she's got 3 for the game. They were all in the second inning. Popped up. Katina was rushing, looking for the bunt. She backpedaled and caught the pop-up. So the first baseman but Brad is the only one that hasn't caught a pop-up. The last 3 outs. Oh, excuse me. She did catch a pop-up. And I take it back. She didn't. Nice try. Nice turn by Grossi. They got the important one in the middle. 6-5. Porozinski to Grossi. Came close to turn the double play. Timpson was safe at first. Cochran, the first baseman, drew a walk her first try. She was one of 2 Fenwick players that have made it past first base. Out at second base. Nice throw, nice tag by Porozinski. So we have a walk and a fielder's choice, but Frangulli only faces 3 hitters in the 4th inning. With the force out and now the throw out. We'll move into the bottom half of the 4th. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 for St. Mary's. That 30 was a strange inning. They got 2 walks. Sam was around a sacrifice. And Porozinski's bunt. They got DiBiasio trying to score. And then on the base pass, it was either Porozinski at second or Grossi at the plate that were tagged out for the 3rd out. Fenwick brought an army to this game. They got 9 subs on the bench. One, of course, is the designated player, but 9 subs. Julia Niccolo reached, no, she got an RBI because the runner at third would have scored anyway on her bunt down the first baseline. She popped to the first baseman. Way up for a ball. That pitch was way over her head. She tried to bunt it anyway. And it's 1-1. Way up for a ball. 2-1 the count. We mentioned you. We've done. Julie Nicola's been on TV quite a bit with her Wyoming All-Star team that swings away and hits it into left field for a base hit, and it gets by the left fielder. Took a very nice bounce for Julia. The left fielder came in, a little spin on it, it's just spun away. Nicola will wind up with a double. Ashante Perdillo reached out there and scored. Last time up, she struck out. Squares takes it high for a ball. I was going to say she missed it, but the umpire call just got a slight touch, fouled it off. Foul ball. Runner at second, nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. High for a ball. 2-2 the count to the spot in the left fielder. Hit to the third baseman. Out at first, Niccolo will move over to third. Nice play by the third baseman, Costello. She took a quick look, tried to freeze Niccolo, but then she made the throw and Niccolo took off. They get the bunt down. They took too much time. So Franguli gets the hit and RBI, her second RBI. Niccolo scores the run. Franguli sneaks over to second base. Roma Bra has been on base twice. She walked and scored and singled. Squares like she was going to bunt. They throw her out at first, then they throw the ball away at third, and the run will score. Seventh error for Fenwick. And St. Mary's got 2 runs in. Amy Catino walked and scored, popped to the second baseman. Someone rolls in and hits her on the foot. Remember, I umpired for a lot of years. I remember when I was umpiring, you didn't get first base unless you made an attempt to get out of the way. Now you look at college games and these games, and hitters is just standing there letting the ball hit them, and they get the base. The game has changed that much. What a play by Timpson. Timpson isn't the biggest target in the world. She just went up about twice her height and snapped that ball out of the air. That was going for the backstop. Hit way up in the air behind shortstop, going back. Makes the basket case and just held on. Nice play by Burke. She looked twice to see if the ball was still in her glove. They get DiBiasio on the pop-up. That's the first time they got her. St. Mary's puts up 2 in the 4th inning. We've completed 4 here at the Grace Regato Field. St. Mary's has a baker's dozen. They lead 13-0 over Fenwick. The ball to Cochran, the first baseman, as we start the 5th inning. In for a strike. I don't know why the MIA doesn't have similar mercy rules. I know baseball, it's 10 after 5 innings. We know it's not 10 after 5 innings for softball because St. Mary's was leading last night by 10 and we played the 7th inning. So I don't know why it would be different. Solid shot. And a nice play by the left fielder. Perdue looked like she got shocked that they hit the ball that far. She started to move back and then went over and made the play. Nice job by the left fielder. Cochran hit that very well. That looked like it was going to be in the gap. Perdue reacted very quickly and was able to get over and make the catch. Medeiros, the second baseman, is the hitter. And I apologize up front if they send up pinch hitters and we don't get them because we are way out in no man's land. And this could very well be a pinch hitter, but they don't let us know. And it's awful difficult to pick up the numbers. Hit foul off the backstop. Swing and a miss. The hitter was struck out and got thrown out by D'Alessandro at first base. Blowing away for a ball. Low again for a ball. Hit foul. 2-2 the count. To the Crusader, second baseman. Boy, that didn't miss by much. You hear me say quite a bit. That's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. Line foul. Way up for a ball. Looked like she tried to pull the string. I thought it was 2-2, but it's ball 4. In for a strike. 5th walk given up by Franguli. Savino, the right fielder, bounced a short, hit a soft line drive that Rossi picked off her ankles at second base. Hit off the pitcher's glove, can't make a play. So it's a base hit for Savino. Two on. Third time in 5 innings they've had 2 on base. Burke walked and hit a little half pop, half line drive to the shortstop. Porozinski, who picked it off her shoelaces. That was that 3rd inning when they popped up all over the place. First, second, and short. All 5 of the infielders have caught pop-ups. Awful close at second base. That's strike three. Swing and a miss. Curio has hit a shot to center field that DiBiase made a nice running catch on. And she got a base hit. Swing and a miss. Strike three. So when she gets strikeouts, she gets them in bunches. Five strikeouts, she gets three in the second, she gets two here. And now I think that's it. So I have to go back and find out what the mercy rule is, because last night it was 16-6. They didn't call it. Now it's 13-0, and they end it at the end of 4.5 innings. St. Mary's will get their 15th win. They go to 15-2. Everybody batted around. 14 hitters in the first inning. All 9 starters scored a run. They scored 11 in the inning as DiBiase and D'Alessandro scored twice. They added 2 more in the fourth. Niccolo scored on a base hit by Frangulli, and Frangulli scored on the 7th error for Bishop Fenwick. When she went to third, and they tried to throw her out of third. They threw it by, passed her into foul territory, and she scored the run, made it 13, and that was the final score. St. Mary's, Bishop Fenwick will have to wait till the next game to get their second win. St. Mary's will go to 15-2, getting set for the upcoming Catholic Central League Cup tournament that will begin at Gordon College, I believe, on Saturday. I don't know if they have another game before that. They don't have a game home, I know. I don't know if they have a game on the road. So for St. Mary's, DiBiase was on 3 times. A hit, an error, and a walk. She scored twice. Felicia D'Alessandro was reached on an error, got hit by a pitch, sacrificed, scored 2, got an RBI. Alyssa Grassi had a double and a walk, scored 1, knocked in 2. Sam Porozinski had a hit, a walk, scored a run, knocked in a run. Julia Niccolo on base twice. She had a double, scored 2, knocked in a run. Ashante Perdillo reached on an error, scored a run. Anna Frangulli, the pitcher, had 2 hits, knocked in 2, scored 2. Roma Brad had a walk and a hit, scored a run. Amy Catino had a walk, got an RBI, and scored a run. And Frangulli, she gave up 5 walks, but she only gave up 2 hits. She spread the 2 hits out. Nobody ever reached third. She goes 5. She gets the win. St. Mary's will go to 15-2, and they win it 13-0 over arch rival Fenwick. So we won't see them again until probably state tournament time. We'll get a home game here. So we wish them the best in the Catholic Central League Cup tournament that's upcoming. And they're going in sky high. They've won a few. Their last loss was to Bishop Fian, and that's been a while. So they won 6 or 7 in a row. They win this one comfortably with a big 11-run first inning, 13-0 over Fenwick. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm Don Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.